Are you a good person?
I think that what makes a person good is the context and the sentiment and like the reason around like their behaviors and their actions and why they're good. I think that sometimes even like things that are hard to say or things that are negative to say sometimes do have real good value. And so no matter, like maybe the action isn't the nicest, but at the end of the day, if it's like what brings like value or like something, I don't know.
They're not hypocrites.
Not a hypocrite.
No, not hypocrites. So they need to be good and act good. So sometimes it's a person can be good in a certain circumstance, but then if they're at home, they might not be good.
Well, I mean, let's start with the definition of what good is. Okay, well, there's a lot of definitions, but the one that stood out was this one: possessing or displaying moral virtue. Displaying. Therefore, to be a good person to society doesn't mean you have to be a good person at all.
Experiences throughout your life, what has been the sort of definition of when you looked at someone and said, that's a good person?
Person who follows the lesbian mantra of the personal is the political.
What's that?
Personal is the political. So if you're a person who you like other people, you're kind to other people. Mm-hmm. If you're a person who you don't preach something and practice something else.
Mm-hmm. Right, so sort of honest with your intentions.
Yes.
in a sense.
You just have to appear as one. For all I know, you can be a respectable person, but when you go home, you can be planning the heist of the century.
Sure.
What's that drink you got?
It's like coconut milk, something.
Let me tell you a story. A couple months back, I was sat down trying to record some video near Leicester Square, and who sat next to me was a black British sort of middle-aged man. He was drinking a Foster's on his own, and he had a Free Palestine sticker on his left chest. So I popped the question to the guy. I asked him, well, what do you think makes a good person? He claimed that money can buy the actions of a good participant of society, yet no money could buy the heart of a good human. But looking at what he said, it makes complete sense. Sure, we can all pretend to be good people, buy each other nice things so we can feel that we're being generous, but are you really doing that to be a good person or just to feel like you're being a good person? Listen to the significant difference. One is a person who is attempting to provide their time or resources in order to utilize themselves in a manner that is not just useful to themselves, but is qualitatively beneficial to those surrounded by them. Yet the other is an individual who is insecure, a feeling of distress that they aren't able to act within a certain way that will be approved by the exterior habitat that they are within. Thus, the likelihood is that we can expect the latter rather than the former, purely off the basis of the judgment we receive from other individuals.
I think a good person is a person who doesn't just look for themselves, you know?
Sort of like someone who, like if you're a friend with someone, they have your back type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, because I think if you give someone something, you will always get something back, you know?
All the time. Yeah.
And I think people who just look for themselves, they obviously won't get that back, and I think that's what makes a person a good person.
The problem with trying to be a good person is encoded within consistency. It's not one day you could be a good person and the next day you could be a complete dick and then you could go back to being a good person. Being a good person, it has to be a consistent process. I mean, there's not really a moment where you just decide that someone is a good person, you know? You're not like a good person for 10 days in a row and that makes you a good person.
Just because I'm kind to you doesn't mean I'm a good person. I can be like kind to you, but like other people, I just treat them like shit. So am I really a good person though? I don't think so now.
Do you think it's about treating people the same then? Like treating everyone the same? Just because someone is a homeless guy and then some other guy's a rich guy, you treat them the same with who they are?
That's how I feel actually. Just because someone like have more money than you doesn't mean like you have to treat them like they're superior from like the homeless person that's there. Maybe you can get like more knowledge from the person that's homeless than you can get from like a rich person. So I'll say
Being a good person is a lifestyle in a way. To be someone that would be understood as a good person, you just have to live your life in a manner that would be of beneficial purpose to everyone around you. The factors that consist of being a good person are far more complex in any practical and circumstantial situation rather than theoretical discussion. Gossip with your best friends doesn't determine whether someone's a good person or not. It's more the impact of that individual's decisions in society that display their moral virtue. Firstly, strong situational pressures and social penalties may force an adjustment in your behaviour that is compliant with values among people that you yourself may not even endorse. Secondly, few situations are proceeded in such a manner that allow us to all agree on the given value that would cooperate in an individual being recognised as a good person. And lastly, some important values such as maybe an individual's presence or loving your kids, it doesn't differentiate exemplary people from the less good, since such little variant understanding exists in being able to comprehend the importance assigned to those values that in turn could lead to the definition of a good person. Essentially, even a serial killer could still love his wife or his kids. That values that would be respectable amongst society, yet most of us wouldn't call him a saint now, would we? So we now know that to be understood as a good person by the individuals you could side with, the key variable is the perceptions and evaluations held by those very individuals who make the judgment.
From my perspective, I feel like there's no such thing as a good person.
Okay.
So I think that only God is good.
Okay.
So I think God is like the perfect standard of what goodness and like morality is. So I think that everyone falls short of that goodness. So I think, there's no one that is actually good.
You may be a bad person in one society, but you may be hailed as the great messiah in another. It's for sure understood that, no North Korean society would be welcoming and willing to hear you out if you were to express your views, so that's one.
But I think the way the world is set up right now, it makes a lot of people think about self. And when you do think a lot about yourself, you end up becoming very selfish, very self-centered. You don't think about others, right? And a big principle that Christ had was love your neighbors, you love yourself. So now maybe I will pass someone and I'm like, and then someone's in need, I'm like, do you know what, I don't care about that person, right? Or someone needs some help, I'm like, it doesn't matter, or it's just about me. And I think that's where we find a lot of issues in society, where we just think about ourselves. And that's why I think when if you look at society, you see people struggling. A lot of it is to do because we are just thinking about ourselves, or the government, or people in higher power just think about ourselves. So yeah, I think if that was the question.
Joshua, thank you very much. Marcus, thanks for your blessing, man.
Take care.
Thank you.
People hate Trump for being president of the United States now for the convictions and his undeniable role in the Capitol raid, which, as they should. Yet, as young people, we seem to glorify presidents like Obama, the same president who dropped at least 26,000 bombs. 26,000 bombs in the Middle East. We don't look at him in the same way. The way he talks is cooler, the way he acts is cooler. He doesn't look like some orange melon off a field. He is respectable, he wears a suit, and he's someone who you just look at him and you can say that's a cool fucking president. Kills thousands of people throughout the Middle East, innocent people. And he won a Nobel what? He won a Nobel Peace Prize. It's his aura that prevented him from being understood to the majority of individuals as someone in society who was not a good person. No president can truly be a good person, and Obama's included in that, despite him being the first African American president in history. It doesn't give you this fucking green card to just go bomb anyone and whoever and just go willy-nilly and just not see any sort of consequences of your own character for that. So what's the conclusion of all this? That you can't be a good person? So what? Who cares? You can't be a good person. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna be dead within 80 to 100 years. And that's all of us. So it doesn't really matter if you can't be a good person, but it just serves probably the best of our interests.
And if there was, this is my last question for you, if there was one thing that you could do to just make a world a better place, to make the world, everyone sort of one action that you could get everyone to be a good person? For example, you can tell the whole world to be respectful.
Everybody be nice to each other.
And do you think the world would be a better place if we were just all nice to each other?
Yes, be a better place.
Thank you very much. What do you think makes a good person?
Being kind.
Being kind? Yeah? Do you think the world would be a better place if we were all kinder?
Yeah.
Yeah?
And we'll help each other.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.